My name is Zoe, and I am 22 years old. If there is one thing I regret more than anything, it is not listening to my parents. I had everything I needed in their home: love, warmth, protection. But I was hungry for freedom. I thought independence meant happiness. I thought moving out meant life would finally begin. The night I told my parents I was leaving still burns in my memory. My mother was folding laundry at the kitchen table, her hands trembling as I spoke. "Mom, I am moving out," I said, trying to sound confident. Her face fell. The shirt she was folding slipped from her hands. "Zoe, why?" Her voice cracked. "You are our only daughter. You can save your money here. You can work from here. The city is dangerous. Please don't leave us." "Mom, I need my independence," I insisted. "I can't hide behind you and Dad forever. I need to experience life." Tears welled in her eyes. "Life is not what you think. Out there, people are cruel. I beg you, don't go." Even my father, usually the calmest man I knew, spoke firmly. "Zoe, listen to your mother. Freedom is not always safety. Please, stay a little longer." But I didn't. I had already been persuaded by my friends. They filled my ears with promises of late night adventures, of clubs and concerts, of a world without rules. "Zoe," Clara, my best friend, said one night, "we'll finally be adults. No curfew, no parents telling us no, just us living our lives." Her words thrilled me. I was convinced. So I packed my bags, I ignored my mother's tears, I hugged my father quickly, too quickly, and I left. Within a week, I had moved into a small, overpriced apartment in New York. The walls were thin, the neighbors noisy, the rent far too high, but none of that mattered. It was mine. My freedom had begun. Or so I thought. The first weeks were intoxicating. My friends and I threw ourselves into every club, every bar, every party we could find. I remember one night especially, the music in the club was deafening. The bass shaking the floor beneath us. Lights flashed red, blue, gold across the room, and Clara grabbed my hand, spinning me until we both nearly fell over. "This is it, Zoe!" she shouted over the music. "This is the life we always dreamed about." I laughed so hard my stomach hurt. For a while, it felt perfect. For a while, I believed this was the freedom I had been chasing. But little cracks began to show. The first time I noticed a man standing across the street outside the club. He was leaning against a lamppost, hood pulled low, face hidden in shadow. At first, I thought he was waiting for someone. But he didn't move. Not when the light turned green. Not when the crowd passed him. He just stood there watching. I told myself it was nothing. "It's New York," I whispered. "People stare. It's normal." But something about the stillness in his body made my skin crawl. I shook it off. I didn't tell Clara. I didn't tell anyone. Then came the notes. One morning after a night out, I found a folded paper slipped under my apartment door. My hands trembled as I opened it. Blue suits you. Wear it again. My blood turned cold. The night before, I had worn a blue dress. Whoever left that note had been there watching me close enough to follow me home. A week later, another note appeared. Don't be afraid. I only want to be close. Close? The word twisted inside me. Close meant near. Close meant he had been at my side without me knowing. And then came the phone calls, always at night, always when I was alone. At first, silence filled the line. Then came the sound of breathing, slow, heavy. One night, my voice shook as I whispered, "Who is this?" The answer was a single word, spoken softly, almost lovingly. Zoe. Just my name, nothing else. I dropped the phone, my hands shaking so badly I could barely breathe. It was late when it happened. Clara had been drinking too much, so another friend took her home. I decided to walk the last stretch to my apartment. The streets were usually quiet. My heels clicked against the pavement. And then I heard it, another pair of footsteps behind me. Steady, measured. I turned a corner, quickening my pace. But when I looked back, he was there, the man in the hood. Before I could scream, his hand clamped over my mouth. I was dragged into the shadows of an alley, slammed against the wall. The stench of cigarette filled my nose. "Don't fight me," he hissed. "I told you not to be afraid, Zoe." His grip was iron. My vision blurred with tears. I thought of my mother's face that night, begging me not to go. I thought of my father's voice telling me freedom is not safety. I thought, this is the end. If you enjoyed part 1, please like, subscribe, and share. And remember, Zoe's story is not over. On Tuesday, part 2 continues, and the real darkness begins.